So once again, I said I was gonna record for YouTube, and I started doing shit and didn't anything but recording. But I'm not that far. This last week, I bought yet another project truck because you're always supposed to buy another one before you finish the other one. But I've been talking about wanting to 6.4 swap my black truck for a while. So I've been wanting to do something kind of unheard of / cool. People have done it before, but so I was throwing out the idea, blah blah blah, and then coincidentally enough, my buddy offered this one to me for a very good price, and so I went and picked it up. And basically the plan is 2010 F350 with a 6.4. Plan is yank this body off and body swap the black truck onto this one. Because the bonus is that one too, because then I got the 05 plus axles. I got, the 2010 axles, super easy to build my lift on, rather than building off the factory axles on the OBS. So it should be just all around better, and it can actually do the speed limit after I do the swap. But as you can see, I already sold the bed off of it. That's gone. Tailgate's right there. That's sold. Whole front end, my roommate's getting, because he's got an 05 6-liter that he wants to do the 6.4 front end. And coincidentally enough, his is Oxford white, and so is this one. So it's a perfect donor truck for him. Yanked out door panels, and he yanked out the dash, because I believe I got a guy coming to get that. And the cool part about this truck is under the hood is that, as you can see, it is not only just not a stock 6.4. So it's got dual fuelers. I haven't measured this turbo, so I should give context too. This was an auction truck. I didn't buy it private sale with the guy that did. So it's kind of, I don't fully know what's all going on. I need to turn it more, do some research on shit. I don't know 6.4 is the absolute greatest, but I do know that's an RCD dual fueler setup. So it's a CP3 up top, RCD regulator that the guy's conveniently enough stripped out, so I need to either tap that or get a new one. Hopefully I can make it work, because these are like $500. That Smetting turbo looks brand fucking new. I wonder if the guy blew up the last one, just threw that on. I don't fully know what size that is. I'll measure and check. So now I'm just kind of in the process of yanking the whole front end off. I got pulled mirrors off, bed's obviously off. I wanted to try to get the cab off this weekend. It would be nice to just have a rolling chassis to work around, because they took shortcuts on the wiring and all that, so I want to clean it up. Plan for the truck is, yes, it's going to be a updated chassis, but I still want it to look and feel as if you're driving an OBS. So that's kind of my plan. So I'm not excessively too worried about the wiring in it. Whatever. It's not bad, don't get me wrong. Old plugs that they took off of the EGRs and whatnot. There's electrical taped and just kind of stuff places and whatnot. But now I need to figure out where I need to relocate stuff. But pretty soon here, it's going to get kind of wild, because I was originally planning on keeping my black truck together all the way throughout October. October's the last truck shows that I kind of have on the radar. But the OBS shows in 15 days, and the truck will be there. I don't think my extended cab will, because the bad part is the extended cab has a blown tranny. I was going to buy a manual swap for it, but then I bought this thing. So my plan is that when I'm ready to tear apart this black truck, I'm just going to pull both trucks into a shop on the weekend and take the ZF5 out of this one and throw it into that one. Because it doesn't make sense to buy another tranny when I'm going to have one right there. So, yeah. So I think after the OBS show, do the whole manual swap, and then get this thing dialed to a bare chassis, clean up all that, and then start pulling measurements and figure out what I need for cab mounts. Yeah, so I'm gonna get back to it. I got fenders and all that off. I'm gonna pull the hood off, gotta pull off the wiper cowl, and that really should be everything that my roommate needs. And then start taking all this stuff off a little later. That way I can actually pull the cab off. But we're getting a little closer on it. Bed's off. I need to take the steps off and then unbolt cab, because I'm gonna take the cab off tomorrow. I got most of the dash out. I gotta take the frame off so I can sell that tomorrow. Whole front clips off. That's all off. Pretty well unhooked up here. Got a bunch of wiring I need to make sure it's loose on this side, and then especially on this side. That way I can just lift cab tomorrow. Once again, I got carried away working on stuff and not recording, but give it a rundown, a little update. Granted, not a whole lot to it. Pole lines, you get part of the cab, but I now have a 6.4 frame that no longer has a cab on it. Now, I just pulled up the pressure washer, gonna deep clean all this. If you're wondering how we did it, right there. Good old case, just lifted her up, stuck the cab out in the behind the shop. That way I can pull wiring as I need to, but I'm gonna go ahead and start cleaning the frame up and start cleaning the tractor because I borrowed it. Now that I got the cab off and everything's easily accessible, I'm kind of tearing stuff apart because I'm gonna powder coat all this while it's really easy to see and kind of inspecting things, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. It was an auction truck, so I bought it kind of unknown on what was done with it. Seeing the top half, and knew it was kind of spicy. But I'm gonna tear valve covers off. I'm gonna tear the intake plenum off, turbo housing off, and a few other things. Get ready for powder coat because my roommate, he's gonna powder coat some stuff for me. So get this thing all purdied up in here and get ready to start mocking up the cab. And for all that I've heard about mocking up the cab, these front body mounts for the 6.4 line up with the OBS. So line those up, it all lines up kind of everything else. You got bead in the firewall quite a bit on that truck to fit over the pipes and whatnot. But yeah, it should be kind of fun. So I'm gonna get it all prettied up. That truck's gotta go to the OBS show in 14 days. So I'm gonna keep it together for then, and then probably won't have the time till the next following weekend, so third weekend of this month. I'm gonna pull that one in, and then I got my red truck over there. Can't really see it, but I need to take the manual out of this one and put in that red truck. That way I can daily drive the red truck so that I can start tearing this beauty apart. But yeah, because that's kind of the whole plan for what I'm doing with it. Is I'm gonna tidy up top, tidy up down here a little bit, figure out what brackets I'm gonna cut off that I don't need. So the plan is, obviously, because fuel tanks aren't going to line up properly if I keep the fuel tank here. That black truck's got a big 31-gallon tank, rear tank. I'm going to end up cutting this out, make a new cross member right there. I'm going to stick the 31 here. And with that being said, when I put the short box on it, the filler neck right here should line up pretty good with that one still. And then when I build the whole air ride kit, this tank shouldn't be in the way. So that's a big thing. I want to clearance it, which I don't think it would be. I'm going big enough, but you know, I want to have quite a bit of travel on my lift when I build it, so. And I'm gonna take off random shit like these fifth wheel brackets, whatnot. Figure out where cab mounts are gonna kind of land. That way, if I want to cut, the old ones off, if let's say, I don't know where this is gonna land, but let's say if it lands over here, I'll cut that one off, smoothing it, build a new one. Or even just cut that one off smooth enough and fucking boop. And then I gotta figure out, once I do the get the body mocked up, I'm gonna pull the body back off of it and build my full 4-link kit. So I'm kind of eyeing where I'm gonna put stuff. Cradle right up there, full links and whatnot. So should be a pretty fun, pretty extensive project, but definitely gonna be a fun one. Not too much done, but I got the 6.4 as much stripped down as I really need to. As you can see, I went ahead and I painted the block. I went with a good old silver, just nothing crazy. Cleaned it up a little bit, good old Duke color engine enamel. That's all I've ever really done. It holds up fine, so we're gonna rock it. But the block's just paint, obviously, but my old previous builds, I was just paint, but this one, I'm already right here. I'm already this far. I'm gonna actually powder coat everything. So everything that I am powder coating, I have set right aside here. My roommate, he's got a powder coat set up over there. He just need to get a bigger oven and we can fit everything. But doing a little deal with him. He wants the axles off of this thing to put on his blue bullnose over there. So we're gonna work out a little trade deal where he's gonna do most of this for me. So my powder should be here tomorrow. So I'm gonna see if my roommate wants to start kind of pumping out some of the smaller stuff that he can fit in his little oven over there today. Hopefully spray it tomorrow, but This is roughly what I'm going powder coat wise. The teal's different. I'm going Jamaican teal. This is HD teal, but using that silver and then the Illusion root beer. So the silver, I don't. That's more suspension wise. I'm not doing too much powder coat wise and engine bay wise. But so my plan is, obviously, I have it all the way tore down as much as I want. The only thing really up top of it's still turbo, but my plan powder wise is the rocker covers. I'm gonna do the teal. The valve covers, I'm gonna do the root beer, and then face of the turbo is gonna be the teal. Intake plenum's gonna be the root beer, and then H-pop cover, and then oil cooler cover is gonna be the teal, and then the actual filter housing, I'll probably do the root beer. So kind of still spacing out quite a bit, but these colors should pop incredibly good together. Because I think my plan is, for air-wise, this is only a 366 up top. That's pretty small for having dual fuelers. I'm pretty sure bigger injectors. I still want to send those off to get flow tests to see what they are. But I either want to throw like a bigger, 400 series up in the valley, or another thing I'm debating about doing is just building a compound set, leaving the 366 in the valley and then throwing like a 472 sitting over here. But that's, I don't know, I'll get all tidied up and figure out what I'm running injector size, and I'll figure out what I want to run for air, because I still need to pull glow plugs and board scope pistons, make sure those are all as solid as they should be. I don't know, someone's had a lot of money into this thing, and a lot of it seems new is the big thing. I wonder if the guy was in the middle of the project, and I bought the truck out in auction from a guy that bought it from auction, so it's kind of unknown on like the actual origin of it. But I did crank it. I haven't fired it. When I first got it, the regulator is stripped on the feed side, so I got to tap that. And then the ignition was weird on it, so I couldn't get key signal to fire it. But, I just unplugged the fuel pump and I touched the little wire to it and it cranked fine. So just working on it. Obviously right in here, you got the spare tire bracket mount normally. I chopped that off, and then as you can see, I pulled my fuel tank out because I plan on taking the factory tank off, well, not the aftermarket big tank truck, because it's a big 31-gallon, nice square tank. It should sit right here in the back. I'll make a nice fuel tank box for it, because I didn't want to run a big saddle tank. It was originally sitting over there on the frame, but I'm gonna move it somewhere along the frame back here. That way it's nice and tucked away nicely. But now I'm getting ready to cut out this cross member, because the OBS body mounts, these ones line up with the cab, I'm being told. OBS is only used 4 body mounts for the cab, so I'm gonna cut these ones off, make them smooth. And then the back OBS body mounts, they don't sit on the outside of the frame, they sit right here. So I'm gonna cut this cross member out, that way I can put a body mount over there, and it really should line up the cab. That mark right here is where the body mount will have to sit, so I'll just have to slide it over, weld it right up there. But I'm not too worried about cutting out cross members, because I'm gonna weld another one in the back, and then I'll weld the cross member, build my box out of the back stiff, and then when I build my cradle right around here, there'll be a cross member there and a cross member there. Obviously this one's staying, so it should be plenty of stiff. But I've been a little slower the last couple of days working on it. Haven't had much to do, but obviously I had painted the block. I kind of half-assed, oversprayed some stuff, like manifolds. I don't care if I overspray it. First time you run it, it's gonna burn off. And I tore off a bunch of stuff to get powder coated. Well, my roommate's got a little small powder coat set up over here, and then my powder just came yesterday, so we did the first few little pieces, and the color combo is, we did a couple pieces last night. We did the oil filter housing, which camera does not do this color justice. This color's sick. It's Illusion root beer. And then we did my turbo housing. This is Jamaican teal. It looks a lot lighter in person than it does in camera too. But we still have all this stuff to powder coat. We need to get a bigger oven. We just have this little benchtop oven, which works fine. I'm doing my H-pop cover right now. I have my oil cooler cover and the sandblaster right now. I'll powder coat that after this cools down. Yeah, let it cool down, let it clear coat, and throw it back in. But having a little. I've rocked the pink and blue combo on this truck for years, so I'm kind of excited to switch it up. And as you can see, I love doing unique color combos. You know, most people wouldn't even think about doing that. I think it'll tie well with the silver. I have silver powder coat too for piping and whatnot. I might just go stainless, but we'll see. We'll see how fancy I go with it. Obviously stainless would be sick, but I figure what I gotta do piping wise first. So I got silver powder for whatever I figure I want to do with it. Getting some pieces on. We'll kind of just set on. I'm kind of wanting to see how it looks. I'm still gonna tear into it more, but obviously H-pop covers the teal. Turbo housing's the teal. When I compound it, it'll be another one over here. It'll be teal. Oil cooler, the teal. Oil filter housing, the root beer. And then I just took off the bracket for the dual fueler. And then the little engine hook right there, that'll be the root beer along with the intake plenum. So that root beer kind of looks like it doesn't fit right now, but when there's more valve covers and be the root beer, get this bracket in there cooking. But then I'm gonna spray the other one. I'm gonna spray this bracket, but I need to get a bigger oven so we can spray all this stuff here soon. So I'm just gonna go hop on the marketplace and see what shitter little oven I can find.